So, Khadijah.
Yes, Ben.
Nice to meet you.
Benjamin.
Ben's
Ben?
fine, please,
Okay.
please. Let's be informal. So tell me about your experience. What was it like to participate in Divided We Fall?
It was awesome, to say the least. Very eye-opening. I went into it not knowing what to expect, and also not knowing how to be, if that makes sense.
Sure, right.
You know, I'm not used to being in front of a camera, and I wanted to bring like my authentic self to the table.
I'm still working on that. So don't worry about it. Was it a little terrifying to do that? Was it a little?
Yes, it's gonna sound funny, but especially being a Black woman, I didn't want to come in and be stereotyped or feed into a stereotype. I can get pretty passionate in conversations, and I'm like, I hope my passion is not perceived as like anger or aggression. Like, take it for what it is. So that was a little nerve-wracking.
What an interesting thing, though, right? I mean, that's an honest experience you have, right? That is who you are, part of who you are, and yet you feel like you need to modify that or to be aware of that. Sort of like, which is based on other people's perception of you. Which is
I know, right?
Right.
And that's probably a big part of these conversations and a big part of why we keep getting divided. It's all about perceptions instead of what's actually the truth and what's the underlying layer of why a person is coming across the way they're coming across.
Right.
The perception definitely played a part, like in that first day.
I'm sure.
Kind of surveying the room and the group, figuring out like who probably believes what and who thinks what. And then you kind of started to see the beliefs come out, and I was very surprised at some.
Were you?
Yeah.
What was surprising? Can you give an example?
You know, you see a woman, she's a Black woman, so you automatically assume what she's gonna stand for. And she speaks, you know, I'm this proud Black Negro American woman. I believe in Black pride, and then say, and I love Donald J. Trump. And I was just like, wow. Like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, that's... Yeah,
but
didn't think it was going to come out that way.
I didn't. No, not at all.
I would have a lot of questions for her.
I still have questions.
Okay, fair enough.
I still have questions. But, you know, that's her truth. Right. And as we got to know her, it didn't take away from her pride and who she was. It taught me a lot as far as judgment.
It did? In what ways?
You know, before having this weekend and having these conversations, if someone had a belief that opposed mine so drastically, using Donald Trump, for example, right? Because he's very polarizing. If someone said that they liked him and liked what he stood for, I would just dismiss them. Sometimes, yes, we think it's ignorance, right? But it's not. What I've learned is people admire people. They have their reasons for why they believe what they believe. And the issue is we're not taking the time to find out why. We're just putting up a guard and telling someone that they're wrong. We're just picking sides instead of trying to bridge a gap. And I mean, I don't know where it stems from other than, what's the word I want to use? Maybe fear? Fear or just ignorance. You know, I've had it myself. Just, you know, not knowing any better.
Does it feel like we're not talking to each other enough in the country? I mean, it's a bit of a leading question, but...
We're talking a lot, we are, but oftentimes we're talking amongst people who believe what we believe. Right. And we're not getting that diversity, we're not truly. Once you get amongst like-minded people, like I have my crew, this is all I need. Yeah. But in reality, the way this country works, like it's a melting pot, like we can't just make these little pockets and say, no, you can't come over here, or no, I don't want to know anything about you. Like, that's not the American experience. Like, the whole point is for us to just be very different all in this one space and bring something to the table to share our culture, to share our experiences, and remember that we're all the same citizens in this country.
It feels like sometimes it's just gossip.
Yeah.
Like it's just becoming like part of the entertainment complex, you know, like politics as sport. It's not what the Greeks thought democracy should be, to put it mildly. Like, you know, we're not actually having a real conversation. We're just taking pot shots at somebody that we all agree we don't like. Yeah. And that's what it seemed like in Divided We Fall. The conversations, I mean, I don't know how long it took to get to this place, but they were so honest. They were so, because we're really listening to each other and being brave about talking to each other. You've talked about things that are surprising to you, but what's something that wasn't surprising to you? Is there something that wasn't?
Something that wasn't surprising. Something that wasn't surprising was that some people's minds were not changed. That was not a surprise to me. Oftentimes when you hold to your beliefs, you know, they're unwavering. I myself do this. You know, I knew that individuals are going to come in here. They were going to support Trump. They were going to support guns, or they were going to support, you know, limited immigration. We were not going to change their minds, which is unfortunate, because I think the whole purpose was for everybody to come into this and leave slightly changed, or at least thinking in a different way. And maybe they are thinking in a different way, but I know that a number of individuals left with the same beliefs that they had when they came in.
But not you.
No, I don't think my beliefs haven't changed. Right. Yeah, so
but maybe your perception of the perhaps perception of the other perhaps has changed,
perception has definitely changed. But at the core of it, I'm unwavering where I say that these guns are a problem.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, my perception has definitely shifted.
Even though perhaps your opinions haven't changed, and perhaps that's not a bad thing. Perhaps you're right on certain things. Your ability to talk to them, to the other side, based on this new information that you're getting from them and the engagement. I mean, that in and of itself would seem to be constructive, given that what we see in Washington is the antithesis of that, right? They're just, For sure. Oh my gosh, me and my friends just casually on the phone, we would talk all the time about, like, what are politicians, what are they doing in DC? And, you know, I'm not going to pretend like I know what their day-to-day is, but from what we see as citizens, I'm like, just get over it. Have a conversation. Like, what are you doing just sitting in your office, shutting the door, saying, no, I don't want to talk about it. Right. Like, and then that trickles down, right? It trickles down to the individuals that look up to these individuals that they have voted for. And we start doing it as everyday citizens, like, no, I don't want to talk about this, you're just wrong. And so we're not getting anything accomplished. They're being forced into a group, right?
You know, red or blue. And when that happens, we're just staying with our group, and we're not actually solving anything.
Yeah.